here I am, my buddy Jimmy. We're out here at this ranch out in the middle of West Texas. It's hot, very dry, very dry. West Texas, for all of you guys that are not from this area or been to this area, and all of our international friends out there, it is borderline desert, specifically where we are. West Texas is so friggin' dry, which makes it a challenge for bushcrafting, because if you come out minimalistic, it is really hard to find water around here. Very hard. So I'm going to climb up this mountain or hill. It's going to be a good climb, and I'll show you around from up top. So here's you a good shot of West Texas landscape. Forests are unheard of around here. It's all scrubby. Pretty much dry, hot. It's over 100 degrees right now. Humidity up and down. It's nice. This ranch that we're on is huge. 38,000 acre ranch. So yeah, most of Texas is privately owned. Just pretty much all ranch land from Lubbock all the way down to Brownsville. I mean, it is just all owned by ranch or farmers. So let's talk about charcoal a bit, shall we? That charcoal, either from something natural or out of your campfire, will serve as a good antacid. You can also use it as part of a water filtering system, and that's advanced bushcraft. I'll show you some of that later, but there's you an idea what you can do with charcoal. You can also use it as a big chunk of chalk too, so if you need to mark where you've been or where you're going, charcoal is the way to go. So here's some mesquite. Look at that. Is that not desert looking stuff if you ever seen it? Look at those little fine little leaves. Right now these things are blooming to put out a bunch of beans. But one thing about mesquites, and here is a nice dead little sapling. Look at the thorns on that. Wow. I don't know if you can see that there. Look at the size of that thorn. Almost as long as my ring finger. And those things are full of poison. You get stuck with one of those, it's going to itch and burn. It's great. But they also make excellent toothpicks. They also make excellent skewers, all kinds of different things. You can make needles out of them. You can also get part of the twig that it was on, and you can make a good fish hook out of it. What on earth would I do for food out here? Well, let's see here. For starters, there's nowhere to fish, so I don't need a fishing kit. So needless to say, my survival kits, when I bring them out here, they don't include that. Kind of pointless. But there's all kinds of other things to eat. And unfortunately, since that fire ran through this ranch real bad, there's not a lot of small game, so there's not a lot of that to hunt right now. So this pretty much right here is what you are going to be down to if you need protein. Look at that dude. He's a big little dude right there. Pop those legs off, pop that head off. He's good. Roast a few of those, you got a full meal. Well, one good thing about a mesquite tree, if there is anything good about a mesquite tree, is every single part of this tree is edible. You can eat the beans. In fact, the jacket on the beans is very tasty. Very tasty. It's kind of like honey. It's nice and sticky. There's plenty of sugar, lots of good carbs in there if you need energy. You can eat the beans. You can eat the leaves. You can actually eat the bark and eat the wood. So there's nothing on a mesquite tree that will kill you. However, one of those big giant thorns I showed you, if you do get one of those jammed down in your thumb, it's going to fester up and you're going to have a big old nasty mess, and it's going to hurt. So if you ever get that, get it out right away and make sure you get all of it out. Even if you got to wind up having to cut that wound to get that thorn out, you want it out of there. Alright, so we're going for a hypothetical situation here. A ranch like this, yeah, it's very, very big, but it's hard to get lost in Texas unless you're in one of the state parks or a national park or something like that, where it's just this huge, vast wilderness area with nothing but wilderness trails. But if you're on some kind of ranch land, take a look behind me here. You'll see I'm standing in the middle of a dirt road. That dirt road is going to lead somewhere. So you know there's going to be salvation at the end of that road. However, as hot as it is, and since it's well over 100 degrees, the wind's blowing, I'm going to dehydrate pretty quickly out here. I could die in just a matter of a few hours if all I had out here was a water bottle and my car broke down or whatever. Any kind of accident can take you out. So what do you do to keep from dehydrating? Well, take a look around. This is just good, dry, scrubby land. There is no sign of water anywhere. You can see where that wildfire has burned through here. There's nothing. But if you take a walk down this road a bit, so let's take a walk down here with the zoom. Right there. That's what I'm looking at. I see all this dry, burn up grass, and then I see much taller, thicker trees that are not bushy or brushy. That I know is a low point in the ground. There's water down there somewhere. I guarantee you there's water down there somewhere, and if you look through that landscape, you can see, we'll zoom in a little bit more, you can see that stretches on for a pretty good ways down through there. Good long ways through here. Plus, you have this. This is an animal trail. And look which way it leads. Straight ahead. Straight ahead. So, we have an animal trail, we have a road, we see a whole bunch of good thick greenery down here. So, I know there's water back here. I know there is, so man, it's hot. Let's go take a look at the water, shall we? That'll make us feel a little bit better, right? Well, there's no water so far. Fortunately, I know this land pretty well, so I know where there is water. But this just goes to show you, when you're out here in Texas, you're not going, especially West Texas, you're not going to just run into water wherever you go. You got to tote the stuff in. It's a gallon weighs 8 pounds, and you need, when it's this hot, you need at least that on you. So different water bottles and things like that. So we continue to follow this game trail. I know there's stock tanks out here. I know there's wells. So apparently the green spot is nice from all the runoff from a little bit of rain and just settled areas. So I'll come across a stock tank if I keep walking, or I'll come across a nice little another well. So there's water to be had out here. It's just a matter of knowing where to find it. Stock tank. Guarantee it. See if there's any water in it. It's pretty dry out here. Oh yeah. Down in there. Plenty of water. It's large enough. You can just go out there and fill yourself up a bottle. But don't drink it yet. Gonna have to boil that water first. Or use some of that iodine, your iodine tablets, or if you got one of them big fancy expensive water filters, that's what you want to run that through. See if I can get it down a little closer to it, and we'll have a look at the water and see what it looks like. Yeah, that water is pretty decent shape. I'd drink that. Definitely have to boil it first. It's kind of murky, but you can see right over there across the way, that's the draw. That's the creek. It's been dammed up, made this stock tank. So I had actually come in from the opposite direction back here, so that explains why I saw no water that way. It's all trapped right here. So when you're out in this kind of area, that's what you're going to find. I figure also I'll show you another good food source out here if you wind up having to sustain yourself for any length of time. So coming back over this direction, there's your big old wad of cactus right there. It's huge. You can eat every bit of this, all of it. Watch out for the spines. The fruits are not ready. This is what they call prickly pear. Here in Texas they make jelly out of these little fruits right there. None of these are ready yet. It's not the season. These will turn a good deep red when they're ready to eat. They're edible the way they are. They're going to be bitter, sour, nasty. You can skewer those things up. The big scar on the top is where the blossom was, and those will fill up with nice hard seeds. You can go through and cut that scar off the top, roast the outside a little bit to get those really fine spines off of there. Those are bad, man. They stick in your fingers. They will keep you irritated. And you get that in your clothes, it's not coming out. You will wind up all kinds of irritated over that. But that is good eating. Usually later on in the summer, those will be good and ripe, nice and red. I like to go harvest a few of those. They're good just to eat raw. You can skin it with your knife. And then also, you can roast those as well. And they're real sweet, kind of similar to a pomegranate. This time of the year is really pretty bad as far as anything for self-sustainment. There's not a lot of food options if you wind up stuck out here for an indefinite period of time. Water's pretty scarce, but then again, you can find it fairly easy, considering, like I was telling you, most of it's ranch land and stuff like that around Texas. Let's talk about rescue for a bit. Of course, you can start a fire, get you a smoke signal. Got a signal mirror, but all day I've been out there, hasn't been a single aircraft out, so that's probably not going to work very well to my advantage. Probably smoke's going to be the way to go, especially right now. This county that I'm in right now has a full-on burn ban, which means you can have no open flame of any sorts. And when you're sitting here looking at this tinder box, this place has already been ravaged by a wildfire. So if somebody sees smoke, they're going to come find you. That's just all there is to it. They're going to come find you and see what you're up to, see why you are burning a fire, and then they'll be, oh, there, you need rescue, so then you'll be rescued. So that's probably the best thing in this situation. If you're out in a vast wilderness where there's probably very slim chance of finding anybody, or anybody finding you with a smoke signal, then you're probably more or less going to have to worry about signaling aircraft and waving flags of some sort. So that's why I recommend a really good bright colored bandana, you know, something stripy, orange, anything like that. It's a good signaling device. So I'm just about back to camp. I need some more water. I have water there.